right. I am working on OESD's midnight delivery. Hopefully I have all the stuff I need. I've never done, whoops, clappers. I've never done one of these live. So let's see how this goes. Let me test that out of the way. I'm going to get all my goodies. So last night I was putting this all together, just trying to figure out like what I would need and how I was going to show this to you. And then look at this. I have this from last year where I stitched. You guys know me. I like starting. I hate finishing. So this is unfinished. But I was thinking if I had some downtime, I would go ahead and cut and finish these. This is not what we're working on. What we're going to be working on is going to be this, which is midnight delivery. And that is the OESD design. I have a couple things here that I didn't cut apart or press yet because I wanted to do that process with you. And then this is my box of tricks. And hopefully I remembered all things important. So here is the project that I'm going to be working on. And I stitched the whole thing together. I want to say it was like 40 some odd hours. This is a big bite. I want you to think about it before you take it on. And it doesn't have to be something you do like super fast and right away. You need a wool mat. I'm going to be pressing out some of these blocks. Here's our project. That's us today. I go double mat for this because I don't want to damage the wood furniture underneath. So if I have, on my IKEA furniture at home, I do just press on that one mat right onto the IKEA furniture. But this is like really nice hardwood furniture, so I don't want to damage it. So I would double mat it. And you know what I'm going to do? Let me pull up. I want to be able to see your comments. So I can't see it right now. So give me a second. I'm just going to pull it up on my computer. YouTube. YouTube. A1. Vacuum and sewing. A1 vacuum and sewing. Live. I think this is me. Hopefully you guys can hear. I think it's working. And there's Miss Shelley. Is that Miss Shelley? I have a Shelley with an EY on the West Coast and a Shelley with an EY on the East Coast. So let me get this out of the way. Okay. This is an OESD pressing mat. It's a press cloth. And these are great. They're not expensive. I want to say this is like $6.99 or $5.99. And they make a huge difference because before you go ahead and you sew these together, you want them to be nice and flat. So I pressed all of these. I'm an aggressive presser. I'm going to go ahead and heat up my iron. Let me clear my throat. I'm getting hot in here. Hang on, I'm going to take off my, hi, Miss Shelley, Florida Shelley. Good to see you. And I know not everyone is working on this. I doubt anyone's going to be working on it right now. Maybe you are. But if you are working on it, or if you're not working on it, I hope you're just joining us for a sit and sew or whatever you want to be joining us for. So, but the goal is to have these be as flat as possible. I know I have one here that's like a little rippled, but overall, I think you're going to agree these are pretty darn flat. The more upfront work you put into this, the easier it's going to be to put it together and the better your end results will be too. And I can show you some of the ones that I've already put together as well, and I've gotten better. So what I like to do is I like to use the OESD press cloth, and I always tell people you should probably put binding on it or something. Of course, I've never done that. But, and that way you don't chop it apart by accident because, I mean, it kind of looks like, is this even my OESD press cloth? Is this it? Is this one? Here's one. Yeah, that's it. Here's the one, the store one. So it's really easy to think it's just to put a piece of batting and cut it apart. Like my new hooping mat that I just got from Dime, that I said in my video, don't cut this. It's a hooping mat so your hoop doesn't skid around. And the next thing I did is I cut right through it. Jeez Louise. All right. So here we go. Here's a strip of them. I do them in a strip. And sometimes I go this way depending on what hoop I'm using. And sometimes I go this way. I was using my flash frame, so I hooped from left to right. And you can see, I mean, they're stabilized well. I'm using 2 layers of heavyweight tearaway, which isn't super fun to sew through or to press, but it makes a huge difference in your end product. So we don't have to press this too much, but what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut these apart. You want to make sure you have at least 1/2 inch. So, I mean, have like a good 1.5 inches between these, or 1.25 inches or something. And I'm just going to use scissors. I'm going to cut these like right down the middle. But you need at least 1/2 inch to trim. I should just use, this is awkward for me because my camera's in the way. Hang on. Maybe I can do this from a different, you're going to get the side angle. And that way I can be over here. I'm going to put this over here. Should I get my Martelli mat? Let's just do that. It's going to be so much quicker. Martelli. Ooh, ooh. You should come for our event. It's going to be awesome. And I have been using my Martelli cutter, which is like one of the things that they're known for are these. And to get it started, because you have that little red edge that makes it so you don't cut yourself, you just roll it and then the blade will be engaged. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and just hand here, finger over the top. And this will be easier than me trying to cut it apart. And then I'm going to press these. I could just like press them out in the strip. I just don't want, I want to make sure I don't accidentally get too close. I have lots of room on this one. And you got to be careful when you're doing this that you don't accidentally have one underneath the other. I've done that before. Anything that could go wrong, I've done it. Could you assemble these with a serger? I'm going to say no, because you need that precision of just the needle, and you need that precision of seeing that needle just like a stitch in, and I don't think you could really do that with a serger. Maybe. Somebody probably out there can do it, but not I. Not I. So I like to go ahead and I'm just going to use water because you want just a little bit of moisture. And I'm going to just spray this from the backside. And I'm going to press it down into my press cloth, into my wool mat. And what that does is if you are puckery around the edges, it pushes the embroidery design into your press cloth and then makes it so you can get that fabric nice and flat. Oop. So you don't really have a great angle for me, but I have the camera kind of over to the side. And I'm just going to press it until it is dry. But I never worry about puckers. I mean, okay. If it's like out of control puckers, then I would worry about it. But like most puckers, I don't worry about because I use a combination of my wool mat and pressing. Or if they're really bad, I'll get my OESD press cloth out. And you can see like kind of see the outline of this. Embroidery design pressed in. Fabric will go ahead and like spread around it so it'll be nice and flat. So I left it so I had one layer that I was going to have to press for you. I did all the rest before. I mean, last night I started trimming them and I was like, this is taking me forever. So I started watching, I was watching that. It's a Netflix movie and it's with Kristen Bell. I think that's her name, right? And I don't know who the boy is, but she's a girl that's dating a rabbi and it was so cute. It's just like a little rom-com. And then I was thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I'm not there. That whole dating stage. I like just knowing my man, Patrick Mulligan, is there to love me day and night. Gorgeous. this seriously it's kind of, it takes a long time, right? So I say watch a movie, get caught up on that podcast, maybe do a book on tape, but I usually will set this up. And I mean, and the assembly, it takes time, but you've worked so hard on stitching this out that, you know, do the things you need to, so it's going to be, your end result is going to be amazing. Hope you're not too bored. And I really like to use my body weight. Like, I'll get up on my tippy toes to press this. Should have worn a tank top. Okay. And then I turn them over and I like to look at how beautiful they are and how flat they are. And it's that last stitch out. It's the last stitch out. You want it to be in a color that you can see. And normally I use red. And on the front, my recommendation, you're going to see that it tells you a lot of times, like I'm doing the hummingbird one right now, and it'll have you do the seam in black. I rarely ever do black. I do black when I'm on black fabric, but I do a color that's going to kind of blend with my project. Or I try to select a color that's going to blend. And this one was like, I mean, you know, you went from like a tans to blues to, there's all different colors, but because you don't always necessarily encase that stitch in the front and you don't want to see it, don't do black. Don't do high contrast on the front for that last stitch out. Do something that's going to blend. So like I said, if you don't capture that stitch, you don't encase it, it's not sticking out and bothering you. Good afternoon, Katharina. I was getting your order together. Mystery quilt. All right. Flat. That's what you want. Okay. So that was my last strip. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and trim them now. So let me show you how I trim them up. Maybe I should get, what angle? What angle would be better? Okay, I'm going to work from this side. So to trim, I don't need a huge ruler. You don't want to use like your biggest quilting ruler. I'm going to be using this iron like nonstop. I'm going to move it out of the way for right now. And I'm going to take off my Uggs because it's getting hot in here. I brought my slippers too. I should go get those so I don't step on a pin. Okay, give me 1 second. Gonna go put on different footwear. Steamy in here. Did you bring different shoes? Yes. The mine are turned. Dun dun da 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 dun da 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 dun. Okay, got my slippers on. My Uggs were making me hot. There's my dance for you. All right. I'm going to put this closer to me so I can kind of cut. And you are not going to be... Camera's right here. I'm standing right here. So I know it's a little perpendicular. So you turn it over. You're going to be cutting 1/2 inch. You want a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And so I like to use my ruler with the black line over the white line because I can kind of see that better. And hang on. Is it not cool? Has it not cooled down in Florida? Oh my goodness. I have been cold though. Your line doesn't always match. Sometimes this line, the red line might stray. Usually it doesn't do this, but it might do this or it might do this. Just fit your ruler to that the best as possible. And that's why it's important on the front to use a thread that maybe blends in case you don't encase it, but that looks pretty good. Oop, there we go. Does that look good? Yeah. Did you see that? This was my straight cut. You like it? Yeah. Hang on. Let me get my little scrap bin too. I feel like this might slide a little bit on me. I'm going to take out this part and I'm just going to use the mat. I want it to be really stable. Okay. I have never done a tiling scene that was 36 panels. They've always been 32. So when I got to my 32, I was like excited. And then I was like, wait a minute. What's going on? 1/2 inch. So that red line, that's your last stitch out. That is what you're cutting 1/2 inch from. And you are going to get your 1/2 inch line as close to that as possible. And now this goes into your stack of ones that are done. I'm going to show you some boo-boos. And that the boo-boos are okay. I'm concentrating. All right, then they just go in the stack. Are you getting inspired? Are you getting inspired to finish something? So I was looking for the instructions because I thought, oh, maybe I'll stitch out mini quilts. And then I couldn't find them, but then I was pulling out, okay, I want you to look at this because it matches down in the bottom, but do you see how it's sticking out on the right-hand side, but it matches, and you just have to, it's got to be good enough because it's never, a lot of these, they're not going to be perfect. So you have to be okay with good enough. But I was looking for my instructions and then I started pulling out all the instructions for all the things I haven't finished. I was over, I still haven't finished Falling into Autumn or Falling for Autumn. Not done. I think it's all put together. I don't even know what needs, it might just be binding. It could have been the borders. Borders stopped me. Life is Better in Full Bloom. Not done. What was the one with the sewing theme one? Not done. Shout Hooray. Not done. Cup of Cheer. Not done. I need like, I think if I had a month to not work, I could do it. I could sit down and I could finish. It probably is like a day each. I don't know if you can see it, but I am totally not on the line right there in the red. So you just hope that on the front, let's see what color I used. Yeah, I used this like gray. You kind of have to choose too because the gray blends right in, but you can see it here on the blue. You just kind of have to choose a color and hope that it matches. So that, like I said, if you do not encase that stitch, that you don't see it. I think the instructions for OESD has you leave your tearaway or your stabilizer, but I always rip it off. I don't know. That's what I've always done. So I'm going to show you my way. And this is the last one from that strip. Is this so cute, so pretty? So pretty. Take your time. You do not want to cut into your strip, and like the more accurate you are, the easier it will be to sew it all together, and the easier it'll be to have everything match. Okay, so that was my strip. That is how I press them out. That is how I trim them. I think there was one strip that wasn't numbered. But let me put this over here. I'm going to show you some boo-boos. This boo-boo. I think this was supposed to be white, the red. And so I pressed this and I did everything, and then I was trimming it and I was like, there's no red stitch for me to trim to. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, this one was a tosser. I think this was an hour and a half of stitching, and then I made that mistake. I put the wrong color in. So be careful. That's big commitment, and I'll always look at it and go, can I save it? No save. Trash can. Okay, ready? Red thread on the back. So I always put my red bobbin in for the last stitch out, and I forgot it, and I left it in for this whole stitch out. And every once in a while, you might see like a little dot of red, like right there. But for the whole, you can't even notice. So I still kept it, and I'm going to use it. I was having trouble fussy cutting to the line. It was a little hard to see, but I think it's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that. I did 2 of them, but it's okay. You don't even, you can barely even notice it. But I was having trouble seeing this. That red line was hard to see. Let me see if I can see it on the front. So I was worried about cutting this one because I was having trouble seeing that line, but I think that's it. I'm going to cut it from the front. If you got to cut it from the front, cut it from the front. There's something about the red that just stands out. I hope I'm cutting the right line. Yeah, that is right. Okay, I had one more, and I figured I'd cut it here because I thought maybe I'll be able to see it better at the store. I think that's it, and there. All right. I don't know. I think that's it. It's the red. The red on the other one is the best. Red on white is the best bit. I'm just going to commit. Sorry you're getting a glare. And that should be all of my blocks. That was the only, those 2 were the only ones that I forgot my red thread, but it just happens sometimes. I don't know if anyone else has done tiling scenes and you left that red thread in, but I have. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to sew it together. Okay, so Cindy said, what is the average amount of thread colors on each block? I don't know if there's an average, but I'll show you. So here's my little bookie book, and you're going to see some of these. Like this one, there weren't very, very many colors. What is it's like 7 colors, 16 colors. I think I filmed block number 26 because it had the most colors, 18. Like these, super easy piece of cake. And sometimes what I'll do when I'm stitching is I will stick to like the blocks that have even though they might not be numbered and next to each other, I'll stick to the blocks that have most of the same colors so I don't have to rethread. And then I'll do the ones that are more complicated. But block number 26 22, 24, 25. Here's 26 was 24 color changes. So that one kind of took a while. This one was 23. But again, I did it on my multi-needle. I know that's kind of cheating, but why not if you can? All right, you have a layout. And so, and I think they give you a layout of how to sew them together and arrange the tiles in the layout for the scene. And honestly, I can't remember. I know I didn't print out all my instructions because I've done so many. Stitch 2 adjacent tiles. So right sides together, stitch the short left and right. So that's what we'll end up doing. So we're going to go through and we'll stitch these two together, these two together, these two together. So you're going to just work in pairs and you're going to stitch them on the short side. And then you'll stitch these two to these two. And then you'll stitch this set of 4 to this set of 4. And you're just going to work in groups. But the first thing we'll do is we'll go through and we'll sew like our 1, 2, or 2, or 7, 2, or 8, or 13, 2, or 14. And I like to, when I write the numbers on, I like it in the orientation where this is right side up. So when you flip it, it's right side up as well. And I'm going to go ahead and just start clipping and then we'll sew. Isn't this going to be so exciting and fun? So this would be 11 to 12 that we're going to put together. And I'm just going to flip them. Oh, so here's 11 and 12. Make sure you have it in the right orientation. Yeah, it goes like this. So we're going to do these two together. Oh my God, they're going to be so amazing. And I will probably sew on this side just because it'll be easier for me to see. And I do just focus on one side. And I'll put my clips on the side that's going to be sewn so I won't be confused. And now I'm just going to clip them, stack them, sew them, press them, and then repeat. Save in. What is that? I have no idea. You would think this is 61, but there's no 61. So, oh, you know what? These are leaves. So it's a 6. It's a 6. 16, 15, and 16. These go together. And check. I find that when I sew these together, I end up ripping out. I know this sounds really high, like 20%, or maybe it's not that high. The last tiling scene I did, I was like the boss. Everything just was perfect. But there are some where, and I think I've learned too, like a lot of times when I'm sewing big sections together, instead of starting at one end, I'll start where the seams are. And as long as those are good, then I'll go ahead and do the whole thing. 14, 34, 21. Okay, 21 and 22. There we go. What's everyone working on? What are we working on? Kat, you have an excuse. You work and you have little ones. You know what happens? You get old and tired. So I work and then I want to do so much and then I get tired. What madness is this? I guess that's me being confused. That is crazy. Okay, those go to the side until I figure that out. And here is an 8, but I'm going to leave that one. 23, 24, 23 and 24. 23, 24. Yes. It's good because it's good that I'm doing this with you because I want to get it done. And otherwise, I'd go home and maybe find an excuse to be lazy. That one I didn't number. Are these the same? Do these go together? Okay, I have to figure these out. This is number 27. Let me grab a Sharpie. This might have been the row that I didn't number. And this one here is number 25. I had an epic fail with one of these, but this is the good one. I didn't number them. Okay. Number 10. 9 and 10. Number 31. I should probably lay it out, but that I think would take just as much time. And then the snow people is number 26. 25 and 26. 31 and 32, and we'll save this one. Where's my other big stack? Here we go. Are you getting tulip pinks? So tulip pink has been a big goal of mine to have in the store. And literally I was like really worried that, I know this sounds stupid, I was really worried I was dying. And so I kind of put the brakes on stuff. But now that I know I'm not dying, we will be bringing tulip pink in. I just don't know with what collection it will be. Okay, 1 and 2. I had orders put together and then nothing got sent in. Anyway, I have to call my rep and see if I can still get in on that. Maybe it's too late. I don't even know. 3 and 4. Let's see if these are in a row. Yes. 3 and 4.
Can I ask
Yes.
you a quick question? So for Katerina, you had 2 of these in there, but there's only 1 on the...
Oh, that was an
Yeah.
accident then.
Okay.
Thank you for checking. Katerina, Patrick's sending out your wallflower stuff. Okay, what is this one? This is this window. I think this is 19 and 20. No, this is low. This is 29. 29 and 30. Is 30 out here? But this one is here. 19. 19 and 20. These two should go together. Yes. I really love this too because it's like puzzle pieces to me. It's like putting together a puzzle. Stitching it, and then it all comes together, and I don't know. They're kind of fulfilling. They're fulfilling, and you get that fulfillment from completing a tile, and then you get the fulfillment from completing the whole thing when you stitch it all together. 35, 36. Where's my 36? 28, 27, and 28. Here we go. These two. 27 and 28. Should look like this. Is that right? Yep. Yeah, Graydon's gonna be here on Saturday. We just put up all of the dates for our sew along for next year. Now that I'm gonna be here, I'm alive, so we can do that. And we'll put you, I'm not going to put you guys in all your classes right away because I did that before and somebody didn't like that. And it can, kind of get confusing. You're like, I got my invitation so long ago, so I'm going to wait. And we'll send out an invitation, like, 2 at a time or something like that. Is that right? There's the baby, there's the daddy, and there's the mommy, or whatever you want to call it. There's the baby and the mommy, or the daddy and the daddy. $33, $34, $33, $34. I feel like you've got to get the thread set when you do these. Because could you pick out, like, the colors? Like, I just couldn't do it. Especially faces. And I don't feel like it's always a perfect translation when you go from thread brand to thread brand. I feel like it's a safer bet to just get the thread kit. Okay, what's this one? 17 and 18. Here's 18. 17 and 18, top of the tree. Yes. How many overall stitch count do you think? I mean, when I did, I think I didn't figure it out, but it was a lot. I'd be willing to guess it was like 2 million stitches. That would just be a guess, though. Sometimes I've added them up before. I didn't add it up with this one. I knew that it took me over 40 hours, so it was a lot of stitching. 8 and 9 and 5, and where's 26 and 25 here? These two go together. So it was a lot. I did do the stitch count for the poinsettia stocking, and that one was, I want to say it was 250,000 stitches. And then the stitch count for the Donna Gelsinger Santa stocking was about 100 and maybe 180,000 stitches. But that was, to me, like, that'd be like a weekend project, something like that. But there are a lot of stitches. 7 and 8. Okay, this one I needed to figure out because I had 2 7s. That is that. I don't know what this one is. We're going to have to figure that one out. So this is this. 7. And the tree? Yep. What do we have here? 6, 5 and 6? Yes, 5 and 6. Do I have it right side up? I do, and I do. Is this Isacord or Glide? So the OESD ones are always Isacord. Isacord, and a lot of times, the fabrics they'll use will be Benartex. I don't know if is Isacord Bernina? Like, I'm not even sure. I don't even know these things. You guys usually know things and then you tell me. What do we have here? So we have a 14 and a 13. I should have a 14 and a 13. I wonder if this is the 13. That always confused me. This is my 13, I think. Is it? Right? Yeah, that's it. So this is not, this is a 13. Okay, these are 2 that I haven't labeled. So we've got 9 and 10. This is 10. 9 and 10, there's my Santa. Okay, this is how silly I am. I had no idea. I knew it was called Midnight Delivery, and when I looked at it, I didn't even notice there was a Santa going down the chimney. until I like printed it out, and I was like, oh, that's why it's called midnight delivery. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. 35. This one I'm not sure of. This one I think is 36. And let's figure out which way. Yeah, this is the direction. This is 36. I stitched this one out twice too. I stitched this one out twice because at the very end, when it did the white, I put in a blue. And I stepped away from the machine and I let it go. And there's no way to pick out those stitches. Sounds like a party here, huh? Party at A1. And then this is my last set. 29 and 30. So beautiful. Look at this stitching. Isn't that so amazing? I've thought about like, how do they do that? Is it AI? Do they just put it in and like there's no way somebody's sitting there and picking like every single thread, and like, how do they do it? How is it so amazing? All right, we're going to go through. Here is our first stack, and we're going to put these together. Betty, you are always invited to come to the party. All right, things that I'm going to be using. So I've never used my press bar for this, but sometimes you want those seams to just kind of, you just want them as flat and open as possible. So I was hoping this might help a little bit. I've never used it before, but I'm going to use it this time. I brought my clappers with me. So you have to, like, I feel like the clapper is a must. And that's going to be to get it to lay even flatter. You're going to beat your seams down. Let me move some stuff around. Okay, what else is in here? I brought some bobbins. And I am gonna, okay, I wasn't sure. I didn't even look to go, what color should I be stitching with? But you're gonna see some of those stitches in the seam. And you can change colors as you wish. But I think I'm gonna work with gray. And this is my favorite to piece with. This is Deco Bob. And Dove Gray is my favorite color, although with this, I'm just peeking in the seams a little bit to see. Yeah, maybe the darker gray would look better. I'm just going to peek in here a little bit. I'm going to go with the darker gray, so let me just go grab one. The beauty of being at the store is I can just go grab what I need.
Do you have a price on this?
Do you mind if you just make a copy and just give it to me when it's done?
Okay.
Yeah, because they did sell them separately.
With the fabric and everything.
You can just give it back, or you can keep the fabric or whatever he needs.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm easy, Cheryl. Okay. Is this DB 103? Okay, so this is Deco Bob. So this is what I piece with normally. Here's a dark gray. I'm going to go with this medium one, which is, I mean, it's kind of just a shade darker. I feel like I'll go between these two. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll go between these three. But this is my go-to. That's what I love. All right. Needle. I'm going to go 8012 Microtex, which is like my favorite. Oh, look, I have none, but we should have it here. That's what, is this Microtex? Yes. So I'm going to go 8012 Microtex, and I am stitching today on, I'm stitching today on a PQ 1500 because it will go through everything. So is it 50? It's not a 50 weight. I know. This is an 80 weight, and it's really better for just like just stitching, I'd say like cotton, but I feel like it's not going to show up as much in the seams. And it's an 80 weight that has the strength of a 40 weight. So this is what I'm going to be using. And it is polyester thread, but I mean, the difference, this is an 80 weight, 2,000 meters. So that's going to be the same amount of thread that comes on your regular spool. That's 40 weight because it's half the weight. You get double the amount. And it's my thread of choice. If you never tried it, I highly recommend it. Let me see if I can get this down. This is what I'm stitching on. Okay, and I'm going to be going back and forth between this area and my pressing area because you are going to be pressing as you go. Let me bring these over here. I do like doing it on my luminaire, and when I do put these together on my luminaire, I use my projector and I use that guideline and I kind of just put it like I leave my stitch where it is and I take my guideline and I nudge it over. Do I do that? No, I leave my guideline so it stays on the red line, and then I take my needle and move it over. But this will sew through everything, and you are going to have some seams that are really, really thick. So let me go ahead and put my needle up. I'm going to take my thread out of here. And if you haven't sewn on a PQ 1500, you need to. If you've ever struggled with thicknesses, this is it's the 1600 now. This is the machine for you. I was like hemming pants, jeans last night, and I do it all on my PQ 1500. I have the 1500. This is the 1600. And it just goes through everything. I have there's a flex foot. Michelle likes the foot that is solid. It comes with a foot that's all one piece that doesn't flex. And so that's the foot I have on my machine. Why? Because Michelle's had her machine for like 18 years and she's like the expert of all experts. So I just like to do what Michelle does. Okay, if you've never seen this before, I'm going to go ahead and wind a bobbin first. Let me wind a bobbin. I could use my leftover bobbins here, but this is an L bobbin, and most of these are 15s, class 15s. So I'm going to take this. Let's cut off this little edge. Okay, put it over here. You got to get it to seat just right. There we go. Push this in and let's wind a bobbin. I'm going to wind the whole thing. Patrick. Oh yeah, this was shoot. Hang on. Actually, hey Patrick. We did have an issue with the bobbin winder on this and I totally forgot. Is there a Hey Patrick? Can you come here?
Oh, I think your presence is required.
I'm going to just use some bobbins that I already have. I know, that's not a great demo, huh? Can you remember this isn't working? Remember I showed you the other day?
Right.
Can you just wind these on a different machine? I need, oh, can you get me some pre-wounds that are on the wall, like a gray? Okay, I might go pre-wound. And then can you take this after I'm done? Has like old-fashioned bobbin. I'm just going to use this. And you're going to see over here, it goes, pop it in, your thread goes on top of this, and then it goes the other direction. And you're ready to go. You don't have to bring up your bobbin thread. And it comes with an extension table, but I'm just using it here in the table that we have, which is nice. And now I'm just going to thread it up. So if you want to watch this part, you want to go through all 3 of these down from top to bottom, top to bottom. Do we have pre-wounds, Patrick?
We do not.
We must have some L bobbins. They might be in that.
They're black.
There's other ones. There's a yellow container, and it has all pre-wound bobbins that are L bobbins. Behind here, this way, behind the backlash, under here, and go in this. Put your take-up lever in the highest position. What do we have? Those are L's?
Those are L's.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
It's fine. Behind here. And there is a threader on this machine. You have to get your needle in the highest position, and this is like a featherweight. You thread from left to right. Thread guide here. Little black ball right here. Keep your hands close. Wrap it around the little black ball. Bring this forward. I know you can't see this, but I'm just threading up the machine. Nothing special. And we are ready to go. Speaking of winding bobbins, any idea when you'll get the bobbin winder? Lady Fair, I'm not sure, but it's been ordered, and I do not think it was on the last order that we did. So I do not know. I'm kind of at their whim, and I just get it whenever I get it. And you know what? I didn't even look to see what needle I have in here, but he looks like an 8012 or, well, let's change him out. We're going to start with a new fresh needle. Screwdriver. Okay, this should never be loose enough for you to undo by hand. And find a screwdriver that actually fits. Maybe this one. I'll have to thread that one more time, but that's okay. And flat to the right in this case, not to the back, but flat to the right. Hand tighten, and then use your screwdriver to tighten a little bit more. That's how you should be changing your needles and your feet. I don't think I moved that, so it should be in the right spot. And we're ready to go. This machine's pretty simple. That's your stitch length. I'm going to leave it at 3. It's pretty thick. And then you have foot pressure right here. I'm going to decrease my pressure a little bit. The more this red mark goes down, the more pressure you have, but this is going to get kind of thick. I'm going to stay right about there, like right at that line between the two, and we'll see how that feels. And we'll have our feed dogs up completely right there, and we should be ready to go. So let's grab our first one, and where I'm going to sew is I'm going to sew right to the left of that, and you just want to be consistent. Make sure your edges are lined up. The projector is so great because you can start projecting it right now. Right now, I'm gonna have to eyeball it, but if you use the projector on your Luminaire or your Solaris, which I forgot I'm not gonna have. I know it's making me want to just go set it up for that one. And I could go here and just go back a little bit, but I'm just gonna eyeball. Here we go. I'm gonna back stitch it. What's really nice about this machine, or the thread that I'm using, is it's thin, so back stitching it isn't going to add a whole lot to my seam. So, and you can choose a spot on your foot that you're going to focus on. And I'm going to focus on that red line being right on that edge of the inside of my foot. And my needle will be over like a needle length or needle width. And I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to rush this. You want accuracy. I'm going to sew a couple stitches off and I'm going to do the next one. All right. It's going to be like watching the grass grow. Maybe it's sleepy time for you, nap time. You can just watch me sew these together. I'm going to check how they look. And I'm all about the knee lifter too with this machine. I'm kind of close to the edge of the table. Or I'm sorry, I'm set a little further back. So that's not going to work for me, but I love the knee lifter with this. And that way, if I want to keep my hands on my project, I don't have to worry about, did you trim 1/2 inch from the stitch line? Yes, 1/2 inch from that last stitch line is what I did. Do you guys hear that? Somebody was just calling me. And it's like that music. Dun 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 dun. Oh my God. Take your time. I don't see, normally I do these and I film the video and like I'll do like 1 or 2 of them and I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna pause and I'll start the video again once I'm done. I didn't think about how boring this is gonna be for you guys. Because I have to concentrate too. You've got to concentrate and just make sure that you are sewing just a stitch inside. I feel like I've never done put together a tiling scene on my PQ 1500, but I feel really good about just that red line being right on the edge of that inside, right side of the inside of my foot. I'm going to sew a couple stitches off and we're just going to keep going. Let me see. Any questions? Yes. 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. Oh my God, Dudica, you are so sweet. Just try and be consistent. If you're 2 stitches to the inside, that's fine. Just make sure you're 2 stitches to the inside the whole way. You shouldn't do a whole lot of sewing. It's not a serger. You don't want to do a whole lot of serging or sewing without fabric in between your foot and your feed dogs. Your feed dogs are diamond cut and it scratches up and damages your feet. I don't know why it's okay to do that in a serger, but with sergers we just run it right off. Don't worry, there's what, 36, so I only have 19 sets to do. And you saw how slow I was going. I feel like every sewing room needs one of these machines. The PQ 1600. It's that spot where where you could have an industrial machine, but I mean, industrial machines, they take up a lot of room, and this I would call semi-industrial, and it'll handle any of those jobs that you have that your current machine might struggle with. Oh, I didn't backstitch that one, but it's okay. And I should show you my stitching so you could see it, but oh my goodness, did you see how fast I was going right there? I was like Speedy Gonzalez. Sweetie. Oh, okay. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm like right there, right on the inside of the red stitch. And that's what you want to do, just to like encase it. And we are going to press these open too. Where I look is I look right here to make sure that this outline stitch is pretty matched up, and that looks pretty good. Sometimes if they're far off, I'm gonna unstitch it. I'm gonna rip that stitch out. I'm gonna redo it, because the further you get off, if you just keep doing it, it's just the further you get off. So I like to start with my needle down so I can abut this. And I'm looking at my red stitch and trying to make sure it's in line with the inside of my foot on the right. And that's just for me, and that just happens to be how it works with this foot, okay? Might be different. You might be looking at something different on your foot. Oh, for a second. Every once in a while, I'll forget to put my foot down, and it makes a bad sound. I want the other foot, because I'm so used to sewing with the other foot now. Focus. This is not a project you want to do when you're distracted. This is a great project to do if you're super anal and you like that perfection. You like being like so precise. Da, 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 da. Hey, Miss Cindy. I gave your iron to Patrick, but I don't know if he's gotten it to it yet. You're going to be so gorgeous ironing with that. I'm so tense right now. This is not, for me, this is not relaxing. I'm like so tense. I'm like squeezing everything together. I'm not trying to, don't fight your feed dogs. Always let your feed dogs do the work for you. If I missed this, but is your bobbin the same thread? Okay, what I didn't realize is my bobbin winder is not working on this. So Patrick just brought me over a pack of Deco Bob. Yes. So my bobbins aren't the same, but they will be the same. He brought this over for me. Are they the Filtech, which Filtech makes the Deco Bob. So this is a 60 weight. So they're going to be a little bit heavier than like if I wound the matching thread. I was going to do matching Deco Bob, but is my foot down? Yeah. But I just grabbed, I had him bring me those. I was having trouble with the bobbin winder, believe it or not. So for people that live in Reno, it was smoky this morning. Does anyone know what they were doing? I don't know if we ever figured that out. Oh, my stack is getting smaller. Hey, Lori, can you bring me a thing of Zoom? I think there's one by the multi-needle. Do you mind bringing me the Zoom with the little... There's one, I think, by the multi-needle.
Got it.
If you have one of these, like, I didn't realize that you're supposed to oil them. I had a friend who was, like, complaining about the way hers sounded. And she brought it in, and I was like, oh, yours sounds just like mine.
Is it one of these?
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Yeah, this one looks like it was on the floor. It's got grease.
Yeah.
Like that.
So you do want to oil it once in a while, and I think I'm going to oil mine because, I don't know, something's smelling a little hot to me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, just a drop of oil. Michelle was the one who taught me that you need to do that every time you use it. Of course, I didn't. And just 1 drop. This is Zoom oil, just regular clear sewing oil, and I like it because it has a flexible tip. You can watch that come right up. So I'm going to go ahead and just give this a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 right here. Down here on the bed of the machine. And I'd had my machine for a long time before I knew you were even supposed to do that. Okay, let's go next one. We only have a couple sets left. How are we doing? How are we doing? Now I feel like I'm in the groove that I need to go and finish all my tiling scenes, my tiled stockings. I'm about halfway done stitching the hummingbirds, and they're gorgeous. I think I want to know more about Donna Gelsinger. I think we should call her and see if she would, like, be part of our live feed. Wouldn't that be fun? And we could be like, how do you design your designs? Like, does she draw them? Is she the artist? Does she do the digitizing? Like, I'm so curious. I wonder if she has, like, an Instagram account and I can reach out to her. Can that oil be used on all machines that require oil? I sew on a Bernina and mine takes... Yes! Yeah, get the Zoom and get it. I love that little spout. I use that on... I mean, that's what the boys use. In the back, we just buy them big things of it. And then I also use it on my multi-needle. But that's what we sell here in the store if anyone needs oil. Hang on, let me get my... Let's keep it tidy. I was going to go home and sew at home. And I was like, oh, you know what? If I go and sew at home, then I have to go home and then I have to drive back. And I didn't want to do that. So I was like, I'm just going to do it at the store. Whoop. Sorry. I wanted to backstitch that. Tense. I'm super tense. I need a massage. Has anyone ever done massage envy? Like, I did that and signed up for it, and I was always like 5 massages behind. I'm not good at... Someday, when I'm not working as much, I'm going to go get a massage every week. Right to the left, just a stitch over. Oh my goodness, look, it's my last one. So we've done all our pairs. And now we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna press. And then we'll do our, we'll do top to bottom. Now we did left to right, now we're gonna do top to bottom. And then we'll do left to right, and then we'll do top to bottom. Okay, let's go ahead and time to press. So I have a chain piecer that I use to cut these all apart, but I didn't bring it with me. Thought we had one here at this store too, but maybe not. Let's heat up the iron. And let's see how we like this, the pressing bar. How many of you have a pressing bar and you absolutely love it? Like, I feel like just the physics of it must work, just to have it lay across here to push up the seam. Should make it better. And I didn't bring my chain piecer cutter, which makes me sad, but I'll just go ahead and cut them apart. I should have one here at the store, right? And I'm surprised I don't. I think I probably do. So normally I chain piece at like 1.8 when I'm just doing 2 pieces. I think if you're cutting these apart like this, you really do need to backstitch, or else they're just going to come apart at the seams, and you don't want that. So, or you're going to have to sew like some distance in between. Grab the rest. Hey, Patrick. Oh my God, this is the first time I've like cut apart my seams in like a long time. I normally, like I said, I use my my chain piece cutter. I will not forget that again. All right, I'm going to turn this direction just so that I have some more space, or that the camera's not. Well, maybe I'll just do it this direction. Here we go. Let's try this out. I still recommend water, because water's going to maybe relax it a little bit and make it a little easier to press. And I do like to look in these and just make sure that my seams are pretty together. I don't know if you can see that. The one running across seems like it goes right in line. And I will also take my, I'm going to spray it with some water and get it a little bit loosened up. I'm going to have to, whoop. You can take the ball of your point turner and kind of get a little press open. The other thing I really like is to get it wet, and then the very tip of this works really well. I'll kind of press it down with the very tip of it. Kind of wiggle it. You don't want to burn yourself. How can I make the transition to this? Yeah. I wonder if it'll work. It's my first time with this. Let's give it a little best press too, to hold it. because we're going to have to go from here, pressing open, to the clapper. And look how fantastic that is. Look at his little belly is so perfect. Looks seamless right there. You can't even see it in his arm. So you do need to flip them over and look at them and make sure that they look like they're even. And if they don't look even, I rip them out and I do them over again. So here's our first one. You can go ahead and put that to the side and let's go ahead and press the rest. So I have to figure out how I'm going to go ahead and, because I do want to get this a little bit moist. That is going to help. So hang on one second. I'm going to put some more water in my bottle. I can give him a little spray first. Okay, I'm just going to use the tip of my iron. I'm going to go with that just to kind of get it laid down. Because you want that seam open. You're going to see, let's flip it over and just make sure before we commit. Looks good. Now let's give it another go right here. This one's my favorite. This is my Riley Blake Quilter's Clapper. I just don't think you can get your seams as flat and as gorgeous and as tamed down without the clapper. All right, let's go. We've got, what, 19 of these to press. Okay. Let me look at your comments. Do you trim out the stabilizer? Okay, so I know that their instructions tell you to leave it and then to take it out later. Like, where does it say? The last stitch out. Trim. I think they have you rip it out later, but I rip it out before. Align. Once cool, remove the excess stabilizer in the seam allowance. I pull it out before. Like I pull it right to the edge, right to where I can pull it out. I don't know, maybe it'd be better if I left it in, but I've always just went ahead and pulled it out. I'm going to kind of get them wet right there. And that tip of the iron is so important to kind of open it up. You might have to spread it a little bit with your finger. Oh, it got hot. I'm going to swing it around from the other side too. Gonna give it another little press. This is best press, just to hold it. I know my pressing might be a little aggressive, but I really think that's why my end product, they usually look pretty good. I know, ironing gloves. Yes. Here we go. Looks good. All right, there's my star. Look at the tree. You can't even see that. And I think the gray is a good color to use for this. It's not perfect for everything, but it's going to be pretty good. There's 3 out of 19. I'll go ahead and give him a... See how that tip kind of spreads it open a little bit? So I think you need the right iron for this too. There's some water. There's some press breast. I'm going in with everything. Let's make sure it looks good. Yeah. The top of the lights. Got some best press. If you pre-wash, I would either, I don't pre-wash anything anymore. I used to. It was like part of my ritual. Like I bought fabric, I take it home, I wash everything. That must also be somebody who has some time on their hands. Now, I don't do any of that. I mean, I don't think I really don't have time to. Okay, that looks like a really good match. So I'm just going to spread it open. So I guess, what I would say is that upfront work to really press everything well, make it nice and flat, and then trim really well makes your product look really good in the end. Like I really feel like matching it up comes out pretty good. What I struggled with, which I'm not struggling with as much anymore, is the I'm gonna wet it a little bit, get it to relax, is when I'm matching the seams. So that has gotten a lot easier because I don't commit to a whole seam from edge to edge. I will sew it right at the seam, maybe an inch on either side of the seam. Check it, and then if it looks good, then I'll sew the whole, I'll stitch the whole thing all the way across. Once you use the press bar, just go ahead and use the clapper on top. Yeah, I should do that, right? Because you have the heat here through this and it traps it, but I want that like nice. Okay, I can try that. Let me try that. How's that look? Like gorgeous? Oh my goodness. Sometimes I feel like I'm a boss when I open it up and it looks like that good. Like here, the lines are matching up perfectly. Okay. I'm like, ooh, talent. No, I'm just kidding. Here we go. Okay. I got my best press. I got my water. And lay it down. Okay, I'm going to put it right on top to lock in that heat from the bottom through my layers to the top. Yeah, because why not, right? I just feel like this is like not flat, like my bar. I know, it is so nice, especially when you struggle sometimes with stuff and you're like, oh my God, I've done these where nothing comes out right and I just throw it to the side. And then I've done them where, Betty, yes, that was so much more perfect like that. Okay. Okay, let's check it first. That looks good. Sometimes I think, oh my goodness, how hard is this going to be when I have arthritis in my fingers, right? And there's times when I wake up where my hands feel really stiff and they haven't felt stiff and they haven't hurt, which makes me go, is there something in my diet that I haven't been eating that's making it so my hands don't hurt? You just go a little slower. Sleeping. Arthritis gloves. Perfect. I didn't even know there was such a thing, Miss Cat. Okay, take a peek before you press it out. Is that my line? Am I like way off? No, I think I'm good. I'm good. So awesome.
Is it? Does it look beautiful?
It looks so good.
Oh my gosh.
It looks so good. Well, that's another one I haven't finished, but look how cute they look. Michelle's back here.
Hi, ladies.
I think a bunch of you stitched with her this morning. It's a whole day with A1.
Oh my gosh, look at how beautifully they blend. This is better than most.
Aren't they? Aren't they
Of course, it
gorgeous?
could be your skill level too, but I'm
It's
not.
so pretty.
It is pretty.
I'm using my pressing bar for the first time. I don't
Yay!
know if you've...
I've got one. It's an older one, but it's got the same. It's the same thing.
And I'm a believer. Okay, so you need a pressing bar. So Miss Cindy West and Dudica are saying hello to you.
Hi, ladies. Dudica, I just saw Mr. Dudica.
I feel like I left you that message, Dudica, and then all of a sudden, Mr. Dudica was here. It was like Star Trek fast.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So, Betty, I'm so glad you told me to just do it there because, like, look how flat that is
know.
with all of that stabilizer in there and everything. Like, it can be a struggle. That is like, if you're going to do tiling scenes, I'm going to say you have to have the pressing bar and you have to have a clapper. Well, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, but I would recommend, highly recommend. I mean, that looks like it's going to be perfect. All right. But I do still like the process of opening this up, taking that tip of that iron. I was trying the point turner because that was what was in the instructions. I've never used it before, and I really prefer just the point of the iron on the Panasonic 360. My iron that I love so much. It's my favorite. Honestly, I'm not sure if I had to choose just one, if I would give up my Oliso or this one. Because I love just the heat of my Oliso and the power of my Oliso and that it rises up because I need that when I'm doing a lot of ironing. Here we go. Cat, I have trouble relaxing. Oh my goodness. So fantastic. I'm going to press it just a little bit more. I got it a little too moist, so I just want to make it nice and dry. Are we matched up? Yeah. Look at the snow line. Okay. That tip, it just kind of forces it open. Although this feels really stiff right here. And I'm going to go from the other side. Okay. And I'm going to give it a little water. Just do what you got to do. Remember, you're the boss. Not your tiling scene. I want it open. The blocks are so pretty. Okay, wait till you see. I'll see you later, Max.
Bye.
Wait till you see the hummingbird. I think you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, I've never done a tiling scene. I gotta do that one. Because I've just had a lot to do at home, and I just haven't had a lot of time to be super interactive with my sewing. And so that's a perfect time to do tiling scenes on a multi-needle. And I was thinking every year I do the haunted house, and I didn't do it this year. Every year I do the haunted house, and I do the gingerbread house. This year's it's a carousel, and I'm going to go with that, and that looks perfect. I wonder what that is. But I haven't done any freestanding lace, which is really unusual for me. I usually do a ton of freestanding lace too. There's Mama. Which Christmas tree are you doing, Miss Cindy? I think this one is going to need a flange. It's that beautiful. I'm going to have to put it together and add a flange to the binding. And like adding a nice border would be really beautiful too. I've just always gotten to this point where I'm like, I want to be done. And I think that's going to be perfect. So I haven't done it, but I'm going to flange it. Did you just get a multi-needle, Miss Cindy? I've been doing the the Christmas tree. I think we have ours somewhere here. So I love the Christmas trees.
Poor baby's in bark jail with his
with his collar on.
Momo is? Who's out there? Who's he
I
barking
know,
at?
there's some kids out there playing with him.
Ah.
It's a happy bark.
Yeah, we do lots of freestanding lace. I don't know if you can, here, I'll give you a peek. I don't know if you can see. There's like the Santa Claus right there, and the Christmas tree, and the gingerbread houses. So, yeah, we're a big fan. Can I get that to zoom back out? How do I do this? There we go. Perfect. Like, look at the way the stems on the tree came together. This is pretty thick in here. Yeah, there's some kids in here calling Momo's name. Ugh, that is stiff. I think that made a big difference too when I started using water, and I realized that would help like relax my seam a little and let me spread it out a little bit more. That was super helpful. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more sets.
Oh, you have 2 of them.
Yeah, I have to finish that one. I stitched that one out last year and I never finished it.
Oh.
Yep. Starter, not finisher. I want to do both. I want to be like Michelle Gilmartin. She's a starter and a finisher.
No.
Yes, you
If
are.
if you saw my project basket,
Okay, I want to be Dana Harrison.
yes. That's because when Dana starts sewing, she has no distractions. Also, Dana I was shocked when she told me this, but I guess because she's kind of new, she's like, oh, I don't have a stash of fabric. I'm like, what? She's like, no, I don't. I buy what I need for a project, and I don't buy more until I finish the project. I'm like,
Oh,
what?
I know, right?
I could never do that.
Yeah, because
There's
sometimes
too
you
many
just
ideas floating
Yes.
around up in there.
Yes. Yeah, I actually barely take any fabric home anymore, and I barely touch my stash at home.
That must be weird.
So, Kathy, have you started stitching it? Or is it the just putting it together part that has you stuck? Because, yeah, oops, whoops, sorry, took that one off. Should have pressed it on top of the bar. It does make a difference because this is so warm right here. And then what you do is you're trapping that heat between the wood block and the wool mat, and that just gets your seam to be like so flat and wonderful. Because if you've ever done this and you're not using these tools, I bet your seam's kind of a little bumpy and bulky. So this is going to help you have that lace so flat, and it gets really thick once we sew these two to the next set. That seam where it comes together, it's going to get a little bit thick there. Kathy, I'm so happy. I'm happy this is going to make you feel like more confident about doing the project. Okay, Let's get it a little moist. If it's not spreading enough for you, get it a little moist. And I'm doing the best press so it's going to hold. Let's see if I can get it open first, and then I'll put it onto the pressing bar. Yeah, look at that. Okay. Do you sell the round clapper? Yep, it's a pressing bar. And I think I have two sizes. I have this one, which I think is just the 12-inch. Maybe it's a 14-inch. And then there's a longer one. And I think they're both online. Okay, clapper. We've got 3 left, and then we would be ready to put together the next section. Oh my goodness, right? So nice and flat and perfect. I have to stare at each one and be like, oh my goodness, look how good it looks. All right. I look at this and I go, oh, it doesn't really match down here, but everything on the inside looks so perfect, so we're going to go with it. The red lines match. These match, so it's a go. I'm going to get it going, and then we'll get some moisture on here so I can spread it a little bit more. It's not opening up at all. I'm going to go to my pressing bar. Hi, Momosita. Uh-oh. He's drinking out of the toilet. Did the Christmas tree skirt, but these tiles really intimidate me, but watch you stitch them out. Yes. Which Christmas tree skirt did you do? Did you do the Juju one, or numbering the thread? Doesn't that make a difference too? Because then you can just like stand there and see it. Where's Poppy?
Is this an up front, or is this do you have a plan for this?
Is it an up front?
Does it go up front in the eye candy department, or?
It can. I think there might be one on the wall, but it
Okay.
could go up front.
All right.
Yeah. Those are for sale. Oh my goodness. Did I grab the wrong one? No, this is right. For a minute, I thought I had this wrong because see how it's a little bit creamier and then darker over here? But this one is... Does it go like this? Okay. I think that's just the shading. So I thought, oh no! But it's right. Okay. Trust. Just trust. Trust. But don't trust too much because I make mistakes. Okay, here we go. It's a little low, but I'm going to go with it. I mean, sometimes you do look at it and you go, okay, what can I live with? Okay, I'm going to get them a little bit moist so I can get this seam to lay nice and flat. And we're going to go up here. All right, that is good. That's the good stuff. What else are people working on? If you have trouble relaxing, you really need to get a massage. My neighbor, who is so sweet, got me, I think it's like a facial or it's something. And I still haven't made time. I need to make time to go do it because it sounds amazing. And the person she goes to sounds amazing. And I can't wait to do it. But it's been so busy. But when Patrick and I go away for Christmas, it's going to be all about decadence. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That seam. Look at it. Okay. I'm sorry. It's that good. Is that just crazy to be so excited about like a flat seam? Yeah, I've never been really good at relaxing. See the tip? Like how it just kind of spreads it? I just love that. I don't know. This iron is just that good. I need to get some for Christmas. If you don't have it, you need one. The size is fantastic for a cordless iron. I don't think you can get any better than this. I'm going to see what's on your Christmas lists. What do you guys want this year? I want a sublimation machine. I already got my heat press. I want to do some stuff with Violet. And you know who would really love that machine, I bet, even more than Violet, is Kai. He could do all of his, like, it's like gaming stuff. He could personalize. We could do, like, a big mat for him. Oh, my goodness. He would love it. Look at the chimney. Perfect. Everything was perfect. Okay, we're going to do the next round. So I'm going to move my iron over here. Let's go ahead. Let's get out our printout. And we're going to put together the fronts and the backs. And I am literally going to sew right here first. I'm going to look at it. If it looks good, I'm going to sew all the way across. If it doesn't, I'm going to rip it out. I've spent way too much time where I sew them together, flip them over, and I'm off. So that, I think, is like probably the biggest game changer. And that's something I just started doing after probably having done, I have no idea how many tiling scenes. But let's go ahead and let's group them. Where's my layout? Is this like my best layout? Here, we'll use that one. So 20. So now what I'm going to do is I did these sets. Now I'm going to do sets of 4. I'm going to do those and put those together. I guess I should just like lay these out. If I was at home, I would just be laying these out on the floor. You know what I mean? Here, I'm just going to flip them upside down. Give me some room. Here we go. Move this over. Oh, they'll go that way. 1, 2. Okay, here we go. Oh, no. 1, 2 is going to go with 7, 8. Five, 6 goes with 11, 12. I'm going to go 1, 2, and 7. Okay, these two to go together. 1, 2, 7, and 8. Here we go. Ready? I'm going to take them like this, and I'm going to clip it.
Who is this for?
That is for Heather Turner.
And then, is it in the register?
It is not. And Miss Cindy West is waiting for you too.
For what?
For the iron.
Okay.
I'm just going to clip here and here on either side of that seam. Where is 15, 16, and 21 and 22? Nope. 15, 16, 21, and 22. Here we go, right? And sometimes I'll take it and just fold it back like this too. So whatever works for you. But don't do that last outer seam in black unless you're on a black background. Don't do it because it's going to be dark and you're not going to encase it all the time. 9, 10 goes with 3, 4. Let me see if I can find my 3, 4. Here we are. 9 and 10 and 3. Oh my God, there's Santa. I didn't even notice him before I started. I was like, oh, Thomas Kincaid. It is just a winter scene. Yes, it was so much more than that. Okay. 35, 36, 30, and 29. These two. Oh, it does? Cindy sent me a note because that is wrong. Is that why nobody's been buying pressing bars? No, we have them. Five, 6, and 11, 12. Here we go. This is 5, 6, goes on top. Or no, the star has to go on top, right? Nope. Star doesn't go on top. Goes like this. Patrick? $14 and $13, $14, and $19, $20. Here we go. Okay, I would really actually have been more organized if I was at home because I literally will lay this whole thing out like on one of my cutting tables or on the floor. But this is fine too, right? It's fun. You're like searching. I'm searching, where are you? And then you find it. Okay, 27 and 28 go with 33 and 34. Here we go. This goes up above here. And look at little boots by the door. I brought not only like one seam ripper, I brought like multiple seam rippers with me. Because I feel like my seam ripper is I don't want to call it my friend because it's not like I want to seam rip. But it's my friend when I do these because I just end up seam ripping. I just plan on it. But wouldn't it be great if I didn't have to seam rip? Like, how awesome would that be? Here's the I like my Christmas trees like I like my men. Tall and skinny.
You're gonna get it.
Hey, Patrick. Dun, 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 look it. It's a last set. Okay, here we go. Now, you're going to find sometimes maybe your fabric isn't completely straight across. Fabric is malleable. You are going to be controlling this. You control your fabric and where it goes. All right, we're ready. Let's take them over. We're gonna sew right here. That's it. Open it up, and if it matches, then we're gonna sew all the way across to the machine. Are those my bobbins? Okay. Da 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 da. All right, let me turn my computer. Turn off. Do I sell the Caterpillar? The giant mat they make. Do I know what that is? Kat, just send me a note and I'll give you Christmas pricing. I'm not even sure if I know what that... I know Caterpillar, but my brain's not working. I'm not sure what the giant mat is. Plugging in. The cordless is iron. I know, Brenda, don't you love it? I just love that iron. It is so amazing. I feel like the size is amazing. I feel like the power that you get for a corded iron. I'm going to check this one more time, and I'm checking that seam just to make sure it goes together. Maybe I want it. I'm not going to backstitch because if I have to rip it out, I want it to be easy to rip out. And again, I'm going to sew just a stitch inside. Make sure the seam stays down. And here we go. Oh, sorry. I keep hitting the arm because it's in between me and the, it's in between me and what I'm sewing. Unthreaded. Hang on. Okay. Needle in the highest position. Thank God for threaders. And this isn't like the fancy click one, but still, it works. Okay. Looking good. Make sure that seam is flat. Okay, this is when your guideline marker is going to make a huge difference when you're projecting, because right now I've got an eyeball. That's okay too, though. Okay. I don't know if I like that. You know what I don't like? I can see my thread from the other side. So I sewed from here. I think I'm going to flip it over and sew it from the other side. And here we go. Here begins the ripping out of stitches. But how much better is it to just rip out those 2 inches than having to rip out the whole, you know, all the stitching all the way across? So I don't like it because, see, I can see that the stitch, the outline stitch going across. No. So what I'm going to do is, I think this one was a little bit higher. I'm going to stitch from this side, that one right there. I should probably pull out some of these ickies. I'm going to put that one in, and I'm going to go from here. And I might just go another hair over. And how did I come unthreaded? Sometimes if you're using the cutter, you might just want to grab that tail just a hair longer. Okay, better. I'm going to go with it. Seam is perfectly lined up. I'm good to go. That's going to hold it there, and we are all set. And this one is ready. But I say do that seam. I want my needle down. I want it close to down. But do the join where it's coming together first. Do that and make sure it looks good, and then you're going to sew all the way across. And it's going to save you so much heartache and hassle. And going up and over those thick seams are going to be like butter. I want to say with my, was it Haunted Hill Mansion that I did that I struggled getting through some of those seams, like those where it all came together. And I broke a bunch of needles. And when it came right to the stitch where all those layers came together, I didn't even sew through all of them. And here we go. And that looks awesome. You just don't want this to distract you and have it off. All right. Looking good. Toss that to the side and we'll press it out. Next. When did the stained glass church window tiling scene, when I did it, I think I had to seam rich each time to get those lined. Yeah. It's Dudica, you figure it out a lot faster than me. I literally, maybe the last 2 or 3, I've been like sewing the middle together first. I was like, oh, maybe I should just do that first. But I suffered through on, I don't even know how many I've done. I've probably done a dozen tiling scenes. And it took me a long time to smarten up. Am I threaded? Nope. Okay. Like I said, with your cutter sometimes, just if you're using the cutter, sometimes grab that thread and just make it a little bit longer. I'm telling you, it's worth it, though. This machine is so worth it to just go through everything like butter. Like butter. And I wish I could put the other foot on. Right, I should be doing that. Okay, here we go. Keep your fingers crossed. Okay, this isn't totally matching. Match it up. You can clip the whole thing. I wouldn't pin. I don't think it's worth it to pin. We're going to take a peek. Could we get more perfect than that? I don't think so. Okay, it's a go. I'm going to sew from that same side, and now we're going to go all the way across. So we had, 19? Wait. No, I'm sorry. We had 18 because it's 36, not 38. And so now, now we're going to have 9. 9 of these that we're doing. Sorry for not being able to do math. I'm going to go across one more time because I can. And I need to I was taking that red line and I was lining it up right with the very edge of the inside of the foot on the right side of it. Now I'm going a smidge over. Now I'm taking it like one needle length to the right of that edge. Okay, I'm going to back stitch that so it doesn't come apart when I press it out. And I'm expecting this one to look perfect. It doesn't look perfect when it's like that, but when I spread it open, it's perfect. Yep. All right. Just keep going. Are you sewing on? No, you don't want to sew on the red line because if you don't get it, then you're going to see the other line, like the inside line, especially if you did it in a contrasting color. So you are sewing not right here on the red line. You're sewing, I'm probably sewing like that much over. So to the left of the red line is where you're going to sew to encase that outline stitch. So you want to not sew on the line, but go a little bit over. And I would go maybe even 2 needles widths because you can't see the back side and you just want to make sure it's not going to be showing. So we're going to test it here. Sew it here. We're going to open it up, and if it looks good, we're going to sew 2 needle widths to the left of that line. Peek down from the top. Make sure you're lined up. I could go over to the right a little bit, smidge. And take out your clips, and you're going to sew about inch and a half to the left and the right of your seam. Where's my thread? Did you already jump up there? I didn't grab it. Make it long. It's okay. You have a threader. And I'm not back stitching right here because I might have to rip it out. I'm eyeballing across this, but if you have a Luminaire or a Solaris, or you have a Destiny or Dream Machine, or anything with a guideline marker, this is the time to use it. Use your guideline marker. I should probably show you on one of those machines. And how'd we do? It looks perfect. My icicles are perfection. So now I'm going to sew all the way across. What happened here? This morning I got up at, I don't know, it was probably like 6:40. And I ran downstairs and I set up my machine to do the next tile on my hummingbird. And then before I left, I set it up to do stitching. So it looks like I'm super productive, but I'm really not. I just have the right machines.
Price on the Elisa.
On the Aliso?
for CVS?
Oh, I think it's priced on there. That's like our.
The price.
There's two prices on there. There's one price that's the retail, and then I think I have a price for what we can sell it for. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You're so beautiful, and I love you. Oh, that looks good. That looks really, really good. Beautiful. That's 3 down. Did we say 9? 9 to go. I'm not going to sew on this side because it's going to be hard to see. Let's go to this side. Because that's what happens when you have oopsies. And then you try to see if you can make that oopsie work. Yeah, you can. Just sew on the other side. Do the cordless irons turn off automatically? They do. Mine, mine is the 8-minute shut off. And that's what I prefer because I don't know why. I just feel like it's, I don't like having my iron on for a long, long time. But most people prefer the 30-minute shut off. So they're the Panasonics. And I think the new one has an even longer shut off. I don't know how long it is. I can find out for you. But I like the 8-minute shut off. But I'm in the minority. Most people like the 30-minute. What shut off do you like on yours, Lori?
What's that?
On your iron?
Which one?
What shut off? Mine's an 8-minute shut off. Do you like the 30-minute shut off? Perfect.
I kind of like the 30-minute because
Yeah.
I sew a lot.
She sews a lot. She likes the 30-minute.
I use the iron a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
I don't know. I'm scared that I'm going to burn the house down or something. Miss Violet Mulligan has left the the oven on twice.
Uh-oh.
I'm feeling like I'm the boss. Everything's going my way right now. Shouldn't say that. I'm going to probably end up having to rip out the next, 3. Take your time. This is not a time to be doing pedal to the metal. This is time to, be precise. I do love that. You do have a cut button on this. I mean, that's all I need. I need a threader. I need a cut button. And you can see how far I'm sewing to the red line. That's probably going to be 2 needle lengths over, right? Or one really big fat one. And we have to do the reveal, and it looks amazing. And we're going to throw it to the side, and we're going to do the next one. Did you track how long it took you to sew it all out on your chin? I want to say it was 48 hours, but I had a couple of fails. I had a couple where I did the whole block and then one of the last colors was the wrong color. So I think I had 3 blocks that I had to redo. And those were 3 almost complete blocks. It was probably more than that. It was probably, I lost a clip. It was probably was it 3? I'm going to do this side. There were a couple that I started and I figured out really fast that I did something wrong. That's the thing with the multi-needle. I feel like you need to concentrate when you're programming your threads, because if you don't get it right, then you end up doing what I did, which was stitching a whole bunch out and then realizing there was a problem. Hey, Patrick. Hey, Patrick. Okay, focus. We're going all the way across. Focus on where you want your foot to be on that red line. going to check it. Beautiful. Although, nope, it's perfect. Perfect. What is going on here? How am I grabbing all this thread? Where is this coming from? Okay, let me put it over there. We need some music, don't we? What are you guys listening to? Patrick and I have been watching Lioness, which is so good. I think it's on Paramount. And then we've also been watching The Penguin, which is so good too. Oh my goodness. I'm going to match this up because this is not totally straight. Okay. I do not pin this. It's too bulky to pin, but you can clip all the way across if you want. Oh my goodness, did you see how fast I was sewing right then? Okay, again, if you're using your cutter, that thing might be short. Your thread might be short. All right, do the reveal. Oh my God, so beautiful. Color lights make me think of being a kid. That was before they had like just white lights. And so we grew up, I grew up in, am I going to be able to see that line? Yeah, I can see it just fine. In Connecticut, I grew up in Willimantic, Connecticut, which is right next to Eastern Connecticut State University. And we used to put a Christmas tree out in the, we had like a planter in front of the house. Okay, I'm not matched here at all. And I don't even know why I'm doing that because, right, we have to check it first and make sure it looks gorgeous. Check it. And one year we came out and somebody had stolen the Christmas tree and all the lights. And I'm sure it was those, all right, can I live with that? Because that is not, to me, that's not a match. I'm like, what, like 1/8 of an inch over? A 16th. But his pant leg looks perfect. So guess what? I'm going to live with it. They stole the lights. And it was a fake Christmas tree, so, but still. Here we go. But we used to have multicolored lights. That's what I think of when I think of Christmas. Okay, this side does not match. There's going to be some easing. And manipulating of fabric and pressing so that it looks perfect. Does the Stellar have a laser light on it? The Stellar is going to have a guideline marker. So when you're sewing, you can turn on your guideline marker. So, and I got to be honest, like I liked the guideline marker on the Destiny and Dream Machine, the Stellar, and all those machines more than I liked the guideline marker on the Luminaire and Solaris because it was longer. But you can use your projector, and the Avenairs is going to be super long. So I'm super excited about that. I feel like that means less eyeballing. So I feel like here my seam isn't perfect, but the join is perfect everywhere. Like all the trees are coming together perfectly, and so is my Santa and all the seams. 3 more. Only Murder in the Building, and it's awesome. I haven't heard of that cat. Where will I watch that? And who's in it? What's it about? Oh my God, I don't know why, but I love murder mysteries. Here we go. Right across, make sure it's perfect, and then we're going to go and sew over it. As long as it looks perfect. I want perfection. Don't settle. Well, you can settle. If you're like a 1/16 of an inch off, that's okay. Then go with it. But if you're like an 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, oh my God, 1/4 of an inch absolutely is too much to be off. Cutter, grab your thread. It's going to be short. Look at this seam. I can't even tell you how like awesome that is. So flat. Are my window panes lined up? Yeah, those are lined up. I'm going for it. Here we go. Do, do, da, 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 dun. Okay, did anyone have this album? So, growing up, my parents had Korean albums, and like we would have big parties because back then there weren't many Koreans in Connecticut, so every Korean knew each other. And so, but we had one record that I remember that had, you know, just they're not even pop songs, but I just would play that album over and over again, and it had that song, she wore an itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini. Okay, so it had that song on it. It had Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. So it had that song on it. It had, she'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. Is this a kid's album? It must have been a kid's album, right? She'll be coming around. And I used to play that album over and over and over again because it was the only album I had. All right, here we go. Looking good. Let's open it up. And sometimes I just sing those songs. The new Matlock. Oh, good. You know what? I did. I saw Kathy Bates, and that show looked super interesting to me. I would like to watch it. I'm going to check it out. What station is that on? The other one was Doris Day. Were those songs Doris Day, all of them? That was like my introduction to music from the US. Sometimes those songs come back to me. Oh, I forgot. I forgot to pull my thread long. It's okay. Use your threader. Pull that long if you're using that cutter. made me a reindeer around it, and the next one. Oh no! Somebody stole it, and they broke your mail. Cindy, that's awful! Who would do that? You know what makes me super mad? Porch pirates. Number one, I'm scared of them because I don't want them to steal anything from me, but it makes me so mad that people go to people's houses and steal their packages. Right? Okay, gonna cut and check. PBS, CBS, or Paramount? All right, here we go. Open it. Perfect. Oh, look at that. And I have one left. And I mean, this is how long it takes. This is not a quickie project. But I feel like they're so worth it because they're so beautiful. When I like retire and I have time and I make my house pretty and I decorate, I can't wait to hang up my tiling scenes. But I've made so many of them, I can't hang them all up. So maybe then I'll just start giving them away. Right now I don't give them away because I like to have them in the store as samples. Right? But I think tiling scenes are special. Labor of Love. Looks good. One last one, and then we're pressing. Here we go. Up and over. Focusing on that red line on the other side. I think we've done pretty well. I've only had to seam rip one thing. That looks perfect. Look at his scarf. It's perfect. Let's go all the way across. Do you put a label on them? I have never labeled anything because I'm not fancy. Judica, you're fancy. I'm slap 'em jack. How does it go? I make up my own sayings. I'm a slapper together of projects. And so appreciative that I got something done. I'm like, oh my God, I did it. I finished something. So I feel like, especially if I was going to give it as a gift, right? I would do something like that and make a label. But I dream about making labels. I think Patrick needs to stop going out and doing so many athletic things, and he needs to sew with me. And I need to be like, Patrick, make a label, and then he should just do it. But he doesn't agree with those kind of ideas. I want him to be my quilter. I want him to learn how to layer, bind, and stitch and then stitch. Because those are the things I don't like to do. Okay, we did it. It is time to press. Let's take a quick peek. Make sure it looks good. It looks great. We are going to press these open. But every time we get something done, that's that much less that we have to do. So once we get this done, and there's going to be, did we decide it was like 9? Right? Because we went 36, 18, 9. This, it's time to get out the bigger. Now I'm thinking I need that big pressing bar because I don't have the big pressing bar. I only have the little one. But I do have the big clapper. Turn to me. I'm turning the computer towards me. I'm getting sleepy. Are you guys getting sleepy? I need dinner. What should I ask my manservant to prepare for me? I'm just kidding. He's not going to do that. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to press these open. Same thing we did before. We'll look at them and say, wow, Jeannie was amazing. I don't know about that. I'll be like, she had an amazing machine. Judica, you're funny. Okay, see that? Look at how the doesn't seem like that tip is going to be able to get it open like that, but it does. I just like push it open. Sometimes I struggle right here with that where it all comes together. Just get it as open as you can and then come in from the other side, okay? And come in from this side. I think maybe someday if I do like original stuff, because I mean, maybe I would label that, but okay, I'm really getting it wet so I can get this spread apart. This part here must have been thick. It did not want to go. Okay, what can we do right here? Let's see if we can get this. And if you can't get that to lay totally flat, don't worry. Get it as open and flat as you can get it. And I'm going to press it one more time. And even though I have the bigger clapper, I might just do this in sections because my pressing bar is only so big. And this all takes time. I think I sprayed it already, didn't I? If not, I'll just spray it one more time. And this part right here, that center part for when you go to stitch in the ditch, that you want that nice and flat. And I'm going to stitch in the ditch with this one. Let me look at it. I'll probably go, I mean, it's a little dark. I'll have to look at the whole thing. Like, look at the whole thing all together. But I'm thinking I'll probably go clear. But here's one of our first sections, and it looks amazing. Let's keep going. So, when I make something, I think for somebody specific, hopefully I'll have grandkids someday. I think I'll do a label because then I'm going to be like, Grandma loves you so much. These I just make just to make because it's the maker in me. Oop. Okay, let's do this side. So it's just elbow grease. This is just, you just got to put the thyme and the elbow grease into it. I know, I was thinking, can I bring like a sewing machine with me to Japan? So if they go skiing, like I can sit and sew. Okay, let's get that nice and wet. And sometimes that's just as flat as you're going to get it. Don't be obsessed with it. It's going to come out great. Just going to get as much as I can, and then I'm going to clapper it. Should I go over there and buy one? I'll be like, let's get a brother. Sell me a machine, please. Right? You know what amazed me is I was amazed that, so much of the fabric and so much like notions and all that stuff is made in Korea, clothing, all that kind of stuff. But nobody sews over there. Minky Kim sews, but she lives here in the States. I don't know if a lot of people pleasure sew in Korea. Daxton, I like that name, Cindy. We have a Dax in the store. All right, 2 sections. Okay, is that tree amazing? Like if you could only see it. Next. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to finish just pressing these, and that is going to be it for me because I want to get some more shipments out before I leave the store tonight. But you kind of get the gist of it. This is how I press and I put together my tiling scenes, and I think it really makes a difference, the tools that you're using, the iron, the wool mat, starting with just the pressing mat. That OESD pressing mat I think makes a huge difference too. Just being precise when you're trimming the blocks to the 1/2 inch, all of that. I think the pressing bar, mine have never laid as flat as they have laid using the pressing bar. So that makes a huge difference too. And Cindy, after we get off the live feed, I'll go on and make sure that that is available. I think I only had a couple of each in the store, but I definitely have them. Que sera, sera. Oh, Kat, I'm so happy. Okay, let's get the pressing bar. Let's get it really, really nice and flat and open. And I love sewing with you guys. Like literally, I finished stitching this probably 3 weeks ago or maybe about a month ago, and it's just been sitting there mocking me. You're not a finisher, Jeannie. Look, I'm sitting in pieces. That's what it's been saying to me. But now I can be like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, we'll see who has the last word, because now I have to actually finish it. But I'm at least started and on my way to finishing it. So I think this one's going to get done. I got to bring it in. Make it look so amazing. This, I want that part nice and flat. And it's not going to get any thicker than this. That's where your left and right comes together with your top and bottom. Yes, beautiful. How many spools of thread? That's hard. Like, how many spools of thread? How many colors? Are you asking how many colors were in it? Are you asking how many, like, complete spools of thread it used? Because I have no idea. I don't know if I finished any full spools of thread. Maybe I did. But it was a big thread set. And if you want to get the thread set, I think I have at least one in the store right now. And let's do the thread set. We'll do them 20% off. I had somebody get 2 through spool sets, so I just did them at 30% off. So if there's something you want, just let me know. Let's make all your holiday wishes come true. It gets really thick here. So you might not get it to have it spread totally open. It is, Gloria, it is gorgeous. It really is. I'm going to go, I'm just spraying the heck out of it. Oh my goodness. Are they so cute? I really want to do a tiling scene. I want to do it with Michelle and have Michelle show me how to put it all together where we could do like, because wouldn't it be nice to just stitch out blocks like this and then put them together? Like if your hoop can handle it. If you got a big old hoop, might as well use it. I'm gonna get you, seam. I'm getting you with the pointy part of my iron. Okay. That's like no water. That was just brute force. I think for me, the hardest, what's hardest on me physically is pressing. Oop. Getting crazy here. It is really, I liked it because it was like, well, I thought it was a daytime scene, and I honestly didn't realize there was even a Santa in it until I printed out the pictures. But I loved it because it was like a snowy day, and that just like, I just loved that. I do love, I want to, I think my favorite is Enchanted Santa. I think he is my favorite because the pine cones and like the gold detail in his suit. Hey, Lori, can you bring me Enchanted Santa? Do you know which one that is? It's the tiling scene hanging out from the middle table. Yeah, is he clipped down there or is he just laying down? Is it easy? If it's not easy, you don't have to.
Is it this one?
Yes.
Oh, I looked out.
This one's my favorite.
There you go.
If you guys haven't done any of this one,
That's a good one.
he is my favorite. Like everything from like the detail in the hand to like the metallic thread in his suit, his little face. I love this. Like the tassel, like the detail in the tassel. I loved the pine cones and the pine needles. Look at the shading and the fur trim around his face and his beard. I just, the shadowing in his, I can hear Patrick making fun of me right now. But seriously, like, I loved every single stitch of this one. This one is just, he was just my favorite. I just loved him. Okay, I had to show this one to you. Enchanted Santa. All right. Did I clapper too? I think I clappered. Here's his sleigh. This one's going to be almost as gorgeous. Might not be as gorgeous because Enchanted Santa is my favorite. Yeah, he's just like, he's beautiful. Thomas Kincaid, I love you, but Donna Gelsinger, like, you are the bomb. We need to make friends with her. I'm gonna make that a mission to see if we could if we can have Donna as a guest. I don't know if she does stuff like that. But like I said, I'm gonna make that a mission because I'm in love with her and her work. Okay, here we go. I think you guys get the gist of it, right? Because I think this is going to be my last one. Because like I said, I want to get some shipping done. I got to get some stuff out to you, folks, for next week. How can I get this one open right there? Okay. Just got to get that. Cindy, you got to get it now. You got to get that. The blue, yes, on that one that I just showed you. I think that blue might have been might have been Riley Blake shadow play or something like that. But I have amazing blues right now. I've done, I think I did, there was another Santa, the one where he's standing up on the hill looking down on the little village. And I think I did that with like chalk and I forget what it's called. Chalk and something. That's so bad. It's how bad my brain is. And then the tiled stocking, I'm doing that on a grunge and it looks so amazing. So there's a lot of different blues you could use. What's this one? Oh yeah, this is going to be the tree. So what do we have? I've just been kind of putting them together. But if I was at my house, I would be laying these out on the floor because it makes me feel like I'm getting closer to the finish line. So, and I'm not putting these out in any order. But this is what we kind of have so far. And I will finish the rest. I'll finish the rest this weekend. So I'll have this for you. I'll have this to show you. I think he goes like this. Like this. Next week. But that's going to be it. Any questions?
Ooh, it looks beautiful.
Can you show that? Oh, you want to see the other one? Okay, let me go grab it. Let me grab it. And grab some of those. We'll do some show and tell. Beautiful. I forgot how beautiful these are. I know they're gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Okay, I forgot how gorgeous this one is too. It is like unbelievable. I forget what this one's called though. Here he is. And this might have been the first one I did. I don't think it lays as perfectly flat as my other one. This is called Starry Night Santa. Starry Night Santa, and there's the village and the snow and the deer, his reindeer, his little his profile on his face and his sack, like just beautiful. Donna Gelsinger, I love you. Isn't that beautiful? And there's so many. I mean, I haven't done them all. This one is Summer Glory. And is this a mistake? I think this is a mistake. But I just lived with it. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I don't think that's supposed to be like that. But the flag, look at the stars and the lilacs. Oh my goodness. They're amazing. So, anyways, and if you don't want to get started with something like this, there are some easier ones. Like that one up there. All the way up here. Let me see if I can get my camera to go all the way up. I can't. Let me take it off. Like this one has applique. That is a tiling scene up there with applique and not as much stitching. And then one of my favorite ones is the poinsettia one. Let me see if I have that. We're going to show you just tiling scenes, right? Where are they? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that one's so cute. I forgot I even did that one. How about Happy Snowman? Oh, I forgot. You know what? Anything with pine cones. Because look at them. They're just so cute. And this one had this iridescent thread for the background quilting, and you cannot even begin to appreciate how cute it is and shimmery it is. That thread was the death of me. It did not stitch out like Kingstar. So I had to baby it, and I had to hold it, and I had to coax it and talk sweet to it to get it to work. But this one is Happy Snowman. Beautiful. Was this one last year? Do you guys remember? I think this one was last year. The Cardinals. That one was last year, I think. It might have been the year before. This would be a great one for you to start with. Peace on Earth. Because this was not, number one, it's not as big. It's square, right? So it's not as big. And there's not, it's not a lot of stitching. I mean, you have the poinsettias, but it's not going to be overwhelming. Like a lot of what you see here, like that is completely stitched. That's all stitching. So something like this would be nice and fast and easy. And this one, I love this one, Merry and Bright. And there's 2 colorways for this one. You can do it in these with the reds and the greens. And there's another one that's going to be like the silvers. It's going to be the silver and the golds. And this is one of my first ones. You can tell because I was like, I just settled for good enough instead of like it's got to be perfect. But there's a pine cone. Anything with a pine cone is going to get me. And this is going to be a lot faster too, because some of these blocks, like look at this block right here. It's just going to have like one little bobble and a little bit of leaves. So this one you're going to be able to get through fast. So if you want to start with something a little bit easier, you could start with something like this. And then you could tackle something bigger like Enchanted Santa down the road. If you wouldn't have pointed out. I know, but that's what we do, right? We're like, look at it. This is where it's not perfect. Look. That's what we always do. What do they look like on the back? On the back, I layer it. So I just use, this is just for my stash. So on the back, and then you stitch in the ditch. So you are going to stitch in the ditch down all of those. But what you're going to do is, if you're doing the black, you're going to use monopoly in smoke. If you're doing something where it's lighter, you're going to use the monopoly in clear. And that way, if you're not right in the ditch, you pop in and out, it's going to be fine. So, see? These are the backs of them. Just stitched in the ditch, and I just picked fabric that I thought would go. Christmas trees. I don't know what I'll do with this one. So have a great night. Hope you're inspired. Maybe you'll decide to tackle a tiling scene. If there's one of these that you want, I'll do discounts and sales on everything that we looked at today. So send me a note with what you want, or if it's full price on the website, why don't we just do 20% off all the designs and off the thread sets too? I might have to special order stuff for you. So just go tiling scene sew along, 20% discount, please. It's not, we don't do discounts on top of discounts. So if it's 15% off, I'll give you another 5% off. So the total will be 20% off. You get multiple things, we can wheel and deal as well. Have a great night, guys. We'll see you later.